So last time we talked, Autumn Kealoha, the heir of my legacy challenge, stayed at home while her sister, then Nicole Volkov, eloped with the love of her life, Caleb Vitor, in Windenburg, and announced her marriage and her transition into a vampire to her family after keeping it secret. After telling her family, she moved out to live with her new husband in his forgotten hollow home. And that leads us down to only 3 of the Volkov children, Autumn, Clint, and Rapid Fire, as well as the one grandchild, Sage Kealoha, who was in a mood and throwing a tantrum. What happened to the calmness you exuded in your infantile state? Our founder and favorite gilf Alexis figured he was just hungry, so she fed him some leftovers in his mother's bedroom. Hoping that would soothe him, he developed a new toddler quirk, good appetite. So you're moody and expensive. I knew Shanna shouldn't have spoiled him with that solid food. Speaking of Shanna, she woke up to find her son older, for starters, and in a bad mood. She tried to calm him down, but ended up giving up. The 2 of them gaining the permissive family dynamic. Shanna being a permissive parent. Yeah, no shit. How are you gonna be mad about his behavior and proceed to not do anything about it? She said she ain't dealing with this. And Sage couldn't believe she just transportulated her way out of this. She eventually came back to get started with potty training him, and as revenge for teleporting away from him, Sage took the fattest dump possible for his mother to clean up. He kind of ate with that one. Outside, Autumn was tending to her garden and brewing more kombucha. Sage acquired the potty skill after taking that monster dump, and Shanna reached level 2 of the parenting skill. Sage's dump sucked all of the energy right out of him, so he passed out on the floor while Shanna poofed up some lunch for herself. And Resurrection of Christ used this as an opportunity to come clean to her sister-in-law. She had a confession to make. She didn't know if Zayden had already told her or not, but the 2 of them were deeply in love and were officially dating. She was hoping Shanna wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, she did find it a bit weird considering her and Autumn were married, but Zayden had been a wreck his entire adolescent life, so as long as the 2 of them were happy, she was happy, and hoped their relationship would positively affect Zayden. Alexis was outside, still working on that damn rocket, while Autumn left for her first day of work as a civil designer, and that meant Shanna was officially entering her stay-at-home mom era. It felt good knowing that she had all the time in the world to study spellcasting and watch her baby boy grow up. On her first day, Autumn had to make a big decision. She was asked to join an episode of a reality TV show about green issues and civic responsibility. As much as Autumn wanted to share these issues with the world, she had no interest in fame. It came with major problems, and the glitz and glamour of Del Sol Valley simply didn't interest her. She declined the offer and went back to work. In the middle of Shanna learning another new spell and Clint writing more songs, Alexis was given some sad news. But first, I have to admit, I messed up about something, which typically I never do. I said in episode 109 that Candy Zest had already died. Turns out I was wrong. LMAO, she just died today, and apparently she married Alexander Goff. Okay, anyways, yes, Candy Goff, Alexis's best friend that she rarely spent any time with, had died from old age, and did that scare Alexis, because she knew she would be next. Autumn had given her wife Shanna a task while she'd be working. She asked Shanna to have a realtor come over and appraise the Volkov house, with everyone moving out. She didn't know if her parents were going to keep the house or not. It was way too big for 2 Sims, and even though it was her childhood home and packed with memories, a hefty appraisal could give both her and her wife, as well as Clint and Ropeburn, a huge financial jump as they start their own lives. It wouldn't hurt to find out, right? The realtor came over shortly after and began examining the home, and that's when Shanna got a surprise visitor. Felix, the sage of mischief, magic, and Shanna's friend, stopped by to see how she was advancing and to ask if she wanted some impromptu magical training. "Miss Girl, why are you doing push-ups when you should be appraising the home?" Shanna would love a training sesh. It was nice that she didn't have to travel all the way to the magic realm to get one. But it was so random, she wondered why Felix chose to help her out of every other spellcaster in the sim nation. Perhaps he just liked her. She was likable as hell, but it threw her off. After a couple hours of relentless training, the realtor had finished appraising the Volkov home and gave Shanna a number. She valued the home at 294,877 simoleons, 56% higher than what Alexis and Chris originally paid for it. Holy Mother of God, talk about inflation. Shantam had a week to discuss this with Alexis and Christopher. Alexis gained a new trait, perfectionist, as Red, White and Royal Blue called her boyfriend, Zayden Kibo, to come over. She was really sad about Candy Goff's death. Considering she's good friends with her daughter Elisha, she could really use his comfort. "Oompa Loompa, what are you doing here? And why are you sad? Did Hillary leave you for a less orange man?" Resilience and her man went out for drinks right when Clint got back home from college. What perfect timing. He was so surprised and glad to see his favorite brother Edward. They caught up, Clint telling Edward all about his new songwriting hobby and Edward telling Clint about his 2 kids, all while Shanna was getting her ass whooped in a duel against Felix. "You're not that good of a spellcaster yet, girl." And after her head hit the ground hard, Shanna got an idea. Her mother-in-law Alexis had been working on this eyesore of a rocket non-stop for Sims decades. Shanna just learned the new upgradio spell, meaning she could upgrade Alexis's rocket to full capacity within seconds, and that's just what she did. She didn't want to talk to Autumn about this, but Shanna knew Alexis's time was coming and coming soon. She was much more tired. She was eating less and she peed on herself last night. She witnessed this happen with her own mother Lonwola. As sad as it was, Alexis lived a beautiful, long life, and she was nothing but good to her. She would be sad to see her go. Along with gifting her a few potions of plentiful needs to keep her energy up, Shanna told Alexis that she fully upgraded her rocket using magic. Alexis was so grateful, but Shanna didn't stop there. She told her mother-in-law that no matter what, she would take good care of Autumn and Sage. When she was gone, she would never hurt Autumn, and she would do her very best to be the best wife to her and mother to their son until the day she dies. That was a promise she was keeping. Alexis appreciated hearing that from Shanna. Nobody in the house wanted to talk about the elephant in the room, that her days were numbered. Shanna's blatant honesty was refreshing and just what she needed. She was glad Autumn had found such an amazing life partner. She had no doubts that Shanna would keep her promise once she is gone, since the rocket was now upgraded and Alexis had these new potions. She figured it was finally time to achieve her dream of going to space and exploring Sixum. And just in time before the family vacation to Granite Falls tomorrow, she hopped in her rocket and was off. Let's hope the rocket doesn't crash.